A lot of interest already with your customers.
A lot of excitement. It's been something that's been requested for decades. It's something that I've been looking at for 40 years. But until recently, there really wasn't a form that we were able to validate and to prove that it actually enhances your glutathione levels. I looked at products 20, 30 years ago that were glutathione, certainly, but swallowing the pill didn't enhance my glutathione levels. So until we had something that we could validate that would actually increase or enhance your glutathione levels, we couldn't offer that product. We can now. Ours is also unique in that it also supports your body's natural production of glutathione, because glutathione is basically made of 3 amino acids: glutamic acid, cysteine, and glycine, glycine being the simplest of amino acids. So those 3 amino acids comprise a tripeptide called glutathione. And don't let the simplicity of that explanation that it's just 3 amino acids make you think that it isn't an incredibly special and powerful molecule. It is, and we'll talk about CoQ10 in a moment, because CoQ10 is often referred to as perhaps beyond its absolute essential nature for energy production as one of the most protective compounds in the human body. It still has to take a back seat to glutathione. If we look at the single most important molecule that our body utilizes, all our cells utilize to protect itself, it's glutathione. And as we get older, our levels of glutathione decrease. So that's why for years, I mean, and unfortunately to no avail, for decades, I tried to find a way to deliver it, to enterically protect it, enterically coat it, but I just couldn't find a way until now to deliver the benefits of glutathione. So now you get glutathione, which, as I said, even when you look at the cells in your body, I'd be amazed if any cell in your body could even live without glutathione. I know without question, without glutathione, your liver cells, given all the work, the dirty work they do on our behalf, could not survive moments without glutathione. So again, the single most important protective compound, if you look at the list of protective compounds that our cells utilize, you know, that's considering, say, vitamin C and vitamin E and CoQ10 and carotenoids and all the different polyphenols out there, and they're all incredibly powerful. There's nothing our body utilizes more to protect itself than glutathione.
Well, pricing on it, because it is our one of our 2 April monthly specials. Again, CoQ10 is just about 90 seconds away. 30, 60, 120 or 240, $119.90 for the largest size. It saves you the most amount of money. Andrew, forgive me, would you take one of these per day?
1 capsule per day. That's what the researchers done with, and that's what we formulated. That, unfortunately, it makes it a fairly expensive product because it gives you more, because we're following the research. You could find products on the market that provide a small fraction of these levels, but if you want to be taking a beneficial level, you really need to be at 250 milligrams.
And so beneficial, obviously, for you if you love to follow Andrew. Andrew, the one thing you've always done is, you know, everything is validated by the science. You follow the science. You do not release a product until you know it's absolutely perfect.
No, what I always say, we have 1 foot in Mother Nature's camp and 1 foot in the science camp. That what science helps us do is understand Mother Nature and deliver Mother Nature to you. But science doesn't replace Mother Nature. And science really, science is just, science is. Science is what we observe and what we learn from our observations. There's no escaping science. And when it comes to products like this, science is just a wonderful window on how our body works and enables us to provide the tools that our body needs to work even better.
Well, as our grand finale for this particular hour with Andrew live from California, we are excited to share with you the launch of Andrew's other April monthly special, and that is the world's finest CoQ10.